It's a shiny afternoon in the city of Umuahia. On the line, I have Coach Usman Abdllah, who is a renowned coach and a former player. Bon après-midi, coach.
Oui, merci, bon après-midi.
Ça va?
Ça va, alhamdulillah. Et vous?
Merci.
Ah, c'est bien, vous parlez bien français aussi.
Okay, coach, nice to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much.
When did your passion for coaching begin?
Yeah, I think it's in Asia. I was playing for a club that I spent 2 years in, or 3 years in that club. It's called Khalsa. So it's the president is an Indian there. So I captained the club for 2 years, and one day the president called me and said, Usman, I think you have this leadership quality, and because he was thinking I'm going to finish my career, so why can't you go into this coaching? Because I think you can do a very good. I haven't seen that from. So I think he was the one that even paid for my first preliminary coaching certificate. So he encouraged me. I kept going. Then because that time I still wanted to have an opportunity to study things. So I did the preliminaries, and I went again and did the AFC, I think C license, then the NCAP, then I went to Australia again, and because I had a lot of time there, so the off season can be up to 2 or 3 months. And at that time I can go here and there. I even had the opportunity to even went to IT school because that time the computer, this informatics, this information technology. So I took the advantage to do that on my free time as part time. So I mixed it up with the coaching thing. So I had a lot of certificates over there. And in Asia again, it helped because in Bangladesh I was able to play as a coach player because one of the we were playing, and during a certain season the coach fell sick and nobody to take over. So I took over as a co-player, and we ended up runners up of the league at that time. And that was the highest I think Sheikh Russell have been throughout, even up to today. So from there I got the interest in coaching. I say, why not?
During your playing career, was there any moment or period you thought you would be a professional coach?
Yes, that was toward the end when I'm about to finish. I think it was in Bangladesh. I was playing for Sheikh Russell at that time, and I think the coach fell ill and all this. So I took over as a player coach in that, and we went on to come to finish as the runners-up in that year. I think that was the highest point of the club up till now. So then from there I came back to Europe and continue my career over. So that's when I came back. Then I still got the motivation to continue pushing for the courses when it came, because I know I might be finishing in 2 years' time that time when I came back to Europe. Because when I returned back, I only played for 2 seasons and I retired. So I started, it happened to be in France. So you see, everything is in French. So I have to start their UEFA C, B, and A, which in their own this thing is animated initiator 1, initiator 2, and then animated C. So I finished with that, and when I finished, I started coaching the under 16, under 15, of the various teams that I played over there. Then I took on the big one is I think is Bolen and EFC that I've taken over there. So I did that, and then from there I started getting more this thing because the result was coming at that time, and I was doing well. So I continue. I did the first degree, and then later on I decided to go back again to England and do the UEFA in England. So I went there, I did the preparatory course and started, and then they asked me, coach, but your qualification is more than A. Why not go for UEFA Pro over there? But I didn't go back and do the UEFA Pro. I just did, and then I had a call in Kano to come back to Kano. That's how I happened to come back to Nigeria, because at that time I was able to get a chance and assist one of my coaches that I played under in France. So he was with the League 2 of Set, so I assisted him, and I assisted him with another club in Frontignan. And then from that I started taking all those small clubs, and then later I was called back to Nigeria.
Okay, your playing career spanned the continent of Africa Africa, Asia, and Europe. Tell us some of your experiences in Africa and in Asia.
Yeah, in Africa, in Nigeria, because those days I started National League in Nigeria in 1984, so with UNTL of Kaduna. That time we were in the third division, and that time Nigeria, it doesn't matter what division. At our time, most of the big clubs were in the third division that time, like Leventis United, Abiola Babes, Zamtex, Zamfara, all those teams that many of them were in that division. So we were able to come up, and you know those days, even Leventis were packed with the national team players in Division 3. Abiola Babes the same, they all started from that. So you can see the league from Division 3 and 2 and 1, they are all top grades, very high standard because of the quality of the players. Team have money, but they can go anywhere, no matter what division the club. So I started from there in Kaduna because I didn't come to Kaduna to play. I came to Kaduna to study because I got an admission in Kaduna Polytechnic. So I left Kano and came to Kaduna, and I was playing, I was schooling there until I stayed long time in Kaduna because I played Kaduna Rocks, I played some of these clubs because I was schooling. Whenever the club did bands or something like that, I would join another club in Kaduna. And most of the big clubs are in Kaduna that time. So I played until I graduated in 1989. Then before I moved to Stores, and in 1990, that was when the professional league started. So I played very short before somebody just took me to Mogas 90 of Benin Republic, and they were in the Continental that time. So I was able to play in the Continent, and we did well, I think, up to the semi-finals or something like that. So we were knocked out by Motema Pimbe of Zai. But I didn't even go to play the away match with Motema Pimbe because my match against Etua Sahel, I was spotted there by the German, and then I was taken to Leverkusen. I was very young that time in Germany, so I came back to go home and something. Then I came back to the Middle East after, just to revive myself again. Then from there, I keep on touring from Asia, then from Middle East to Asia, then later move back and finish in Europe.
Okay. Your first coaching job came with French lower division side EPSFC. How important was that first outing?
Yeah, actually it is. It's not the first. I just put it in the first because the first were with the club I finished my career. Then I took the under 15 of the club. They were young boys. I just finished my career.
Okay.
So they hand over the under 15, and I did well. Then I moved back to under 16 with the club. So I had a spell with them before I take the other team, this thing there, because that was a team on its own. And we even went up to the round of 16. Can you imagine? It's a district club of about Division 4 or 5 in Nigeria. In France, when you are counting from up, because in France there is Ligue 1, Ligue 2. Then there is National, which is the 3. Then there is CFA, which is the Centre de Formation Amateur, which is considered like the Division 4. The CFA is 1, there is FADU. Then there is DH, which is Division of Honor 1. There is Division of Honor 2. There is DH, Promotion Honor 1, Promotion. So when you're telling you reach the district, so when you're looking at the division, it's up to about 7 or 8. But they were named in different in their own formation of how they are programmed. So to say Division 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is just for you to understand it as a layman, but it's just the way it goes. So in France, it's different. So before, later, when we reach the team of Division Honor, we reach up to the round of 16 in Cup of France, because you cannot be able to play with the big clubs except in the FA Cup. So Cup de France is like FA Cup, and be able to play. So that is where maybe people raised an eyebrow on me, and then I started being noticed. And that my coach that I played under just invited me to assist him. That is how I get the breakthrough in League 2. So that's where I started getting more of the experiences of the big time football.
Okay, you've talked about your UEFA A and B license. Now, tell us about the process in obtaining some of the other certificates that you have. Take us through some of the rigors you faced.
Yeah, you see, like in Asia, I was still playing. And when I moved to Asia, the football wasn't that difficult at that time, because I thought we played in a higher standard before. before, because the Malaysian League started during those time, I think around 1995. And I think we were the second set after the Peter Neketin time, this Bumi Adigung, and I was there even when Keshi came to Salango. All those. So there are big players that are only coming from Europe. Those World Cup stars, Tony Cotti, this Peter Biasley, all those, Paul Gascoigne. They were finished at that time and they were coming in to revive the football. So we were the younger ones at that time with the energy to play among those. It becomes much easier for us than in Europe. That's why I started in Europe. And before I come back to Europe, it takes me years going around before coming back to Europe, because the standard in Europe was very high for me when I started. And then when I went through all those, like many other players that did before we end up in Europe. And I have a very little years in Europe because it was towards the end of my career. So from in Asia, I started the coaching courses while I was playing. So I didn't find it much difficult because I read science. I read chemical engineering. So in school, I read science. So when it comes to many things, the anatomy and all this about biology and all this, they say, when you look at sometimes many things that you have to look, if you know physics very well, you can pass a lot of courses there in football. Because football generally is all about physics, all these technical things about it. That's how so I got the courses much easier. I was able to pass the preliminary courses, theory, everything, all these laws of the game, all is easy for you to read and pass it because I have a very good academic background. So when I did those courses and I just went, I never thought of being a trainer, but I still went and did the strength and conditioning course in Australia because it's good for me to see that. So to understand that part, even though I have a physical trainer, I must understand what it is. So I have a level 1 of strength and conditioning also. And there is some courses around like the NCAP, National Imperial or something like that, NCAP program. I did that also. I have a level 1 of, and I did the AF, just like the Asian Confederation, the C license, all this, just like African Confederation C license. So I started that there and I passed with them over there. So before I finished in Asia, then I moved to Europe. So when I moved to Europe, I restarted again in France for the like UEFA C, which is the Animator, the Initiator 1 and Initiator 2 and the Animator the C. And you know the Animator is like the UEFA A. So but with there in France, you can coach a professional side. You have to do the Brevet Premier degree, like the first degree also, before you do. I'm ahead of that. So I have to do that. That also takes 2 years to do. So the learning part hasn't been very difficult for me when it comes to the theory part because of the academic background I have. And also the theory part because I've played in several districts. So I got the certificate quick and fast and easy. But it takes a long time because I finished the last one in, I think it was in 2011 or 10. And I started these courses since 1998. So you can see how long it takes.
Okay. So having coached in Asia and Europe, what are the similarities and differences compared to coaching in Africa?
Yeah, you know, the technical part, the technical and the tactical part, we all want to go to the level of Europe because we consider that side as the highest. So whether we are in Asia, we are only looking more of the European side where we can reach that level. The same thing now in Africa. But there are cultures and traditions that you have to take. There are sizes of the players and many things you have to look in consideration, the way of life and all. In Asia, it's not that, it's more like in Africa. You know, we tend to overlook certain things, and because of our culture, there is a lot of ways. Most of the players have their styles of living, the same thing in Nigeria. So for those parties, okay, but in Europe, it's purely professional, whether from the youth to the top, they try to exhibit professionalism there more. So it's much easier and you understand things much better. That is why when I came back to Africa, you can see because we are always heading to that perfection in Europe. So I come back to Africa, I try to apply those perfection that we have been doing in Europe. And at the same time, I am still an African. I know the culture of Nigeria, I know the lifestyle, I know everything, I know the way of life. I know how I can integrate with my players. So I mix up those things and try to. Since when I came back to Nigeria in Kano for almost 4 years, I've been doing well, I've been proving well in Kano. I came to Imba. For all the 3 years I've been doing, somebody said I left Imba. And I said, no, I left Imba. I left them in a good position because I left them in the group state of the country. And also I left them, what of somebody said, but the position they were in. I said, because I didn't play 4 matches in the league. And those 4 matches, one of the matches, only one they added to be 5. And it is the matches that I didn't play that helped them for this PPG that they are second. So there are all the matches that I didn't play. If I played that match, I would have seen the position. But football is always like that. In Nigeria, when you look at it, I tend to have a very good relationship with my players. But I look very controversial with my manager. So you see where the thing goes. So, and this is something that because I ask for the rights of the players, and there are a lot of things maybe we are not understood well. Maybe I don't know. It's always even in Bauchi. I still have that. I have the players on my back. They understand what I'm doing. They are willing. They are happy to work with me. The official it becomes controversial because the way they are treating players here is different from the way I'm treating my players. Because they are Africans and my players are giving me whatever. Anywhere I go, all those I played, I have a good relationship with my. Whether I leave the team or I'm there. So in Nigeria, in Africa, those are the challenges. There are things I always look for the right of the players because they are the tools. I always look at the comfort of the players because they are the tools. I don't mind to withhold my benefit if my players will get it because they are the ones that will come. I'm not going to play. If they are not happy, they can't give you the result.
Yes.
So I have the way that I mingle with my players and live with them, which probably maybe with management or something like that. That's why sometimes it looks controversial, and I know I am outspoken again, and it's also hiking the controversy. So I'm not scared to voice out. So that's the thing, because I think that's the only way you can be understood and you get your things right.
During the Super Six in Lagos, was there this underlying belief that you and the team would go on to win the MPFL title?
Before we started that season, there's a lot of issues that probably we don't believe. But right from the recruitment I did and how I wanted to set up my team, I have a feeling that year I will end up with at least two teams. I have 3 targets because the team came, I recruited some new players. I knew some of the new players like Ruben Bala, all those new ones that are around. And then I need to integrate them. I had an interview with one of the designers. All what I have said is, if I have to play you some of the videos that we have discussed before that season, it's exactly what happened at the end of it. And I put it there. Somebody is a magician or something like that. Because you can see certain things, you can see it the way you start. And I have a lot of credit at work when we started the thing because we started slow. We didn't have enough preparation when we started. That is normal. So, but along the line, the team kept blending well with time. So, and I set the target of qualifying for the Super 6. So I don't care whether I'm first or second or third. So that I took the pressure out from the players, because I cannot tell them you have to win the league for me. And there are about 3 stages. 3 stages we have to prepare the team. Then we have to play this average league and qualify, and then go back and start all over again for the Super 6. So there are stages. Let's say at least. So let's look at the first stage. Set the players to target. Okay, let's be among the first 3 that will qualify. So that's the thing. I don't care whether I'm first or second. So I have to keep on having problems. So it's base 40, base 30, base first, and come back. But it's always like that. At the 9 minute, we were able to qualify for the Super 6. Then I raised everything and they tell them, when we went to the Super 6, I said, okay, now, whether I want to integrate the team, I have integrated it. And you can see it from the Super 6. I'm the only team that played in 95% of the team have participated in the Super 6. It has never happened in Nigeria. 95, we are about 35 registered and about, except somebody somebody that is injured, that didn't recover well, like Stephen Chukudi, or maybe one of the goalkeepers did not even keep maybe his own. But appearing in that Super 6, 95, it is not up to 2 players that did not appear on that pitch. If you go back and say, I've never played too much with the same set of players in that match, and which means that is the depth of the team, because I was trying to form a team that will win the championship, go into the continent, and continue into the continent. But when you look at it, immediately after that, the whole almost half of the team is changed. So all this integration, and that is what happened this year. Many things when you look at it, I don't want to go back. Just saying all those.
Where does that success with Enyimba in 2019 rank among other great things you've been able to achieve?
I think it's a proof in Nigeria who is Usman Abdllah. You know, when I came to Kano, I purposely chose the youth and go back to Kano. Look at the pillars. 50 or 60% of the pillars team now are the youth players that I grew in Kano. So that is a proof. So, but still, people don't know me as a coach in Nigeria. They thought maybe I was born in Europe and everything, all this, and I just came to Nigeria. They don't even know. I never even stay up to 3 months without being in Nigeria. So, and I played the league. Somebody don't even know my existence in Nigeria, because most of the players were born in 90, and I left the country in 91. So I understand that. So I was a new coach than then in Nigeria. I have to prove. I came back to Enyimba. When I took Enyimba, I was here at 12th position. I have to prove myself to show people I know what I'm doing. And I did well. We ended up about 3rd position with Pillars, and the league was cancelled. So that again, no, the lucky coach just got it. The thing was owned by him. He left the Continental for me. I reached, that is continent. I even got it the most easiest. The most easiest for me to play is even the continent, because it's very easy to read the game and get all the information you want, more than the local team. So I was able to end up in the final. If not for the plus or minus, we would have ended up in the final. Well, okay, I think this is continent is lucky. Let us see in the league. I came back, I won the league. Oh, this is lucky. Okay, let's start the championship. Maybe we didn't play in the distance. I left the club in the distance with all these many things which I don't want to say about why I even left there. Is it I didn't coach under any coach in Nigeria? No coach that, no other assistant so years that I learned from. Even the coaches that I said maybe I come to him or somebody I worked with, they are even less qualified than me, because they were here for some time. That is why. So for me, the thing is, yes, I want to make a proof I want to give a proof of what I can do, and I can still do it. So I am targeting maybe to get a chance, probably internationally, because that's my target for the moment. If I get it, I know I can do something for the country. Just as I know I can do something in the League of Nigeria, which people didn't believe it before, which I proved. At the same time, I know I have something waiting in that national team that I can change. Okay. So I'm waiting for that chance.
Okay. You have worked with a lot of coaches and players of diverse backgrounds and cultures. How have you been able to bridge communication gap?
Yeah, you see, everything you do when you have. I was born in from a family of middle class family, of a civil servant, well learned family. So all of us. So take a look at Hassan, maybe my senior brother that is with the under 20 last. Anybody that goes close to him will understand the depth of his knowledge in his head. And we're all like that. We were able to be blessed with that education that our parents set us up. So when you have that, I think things will come in much easier for you. So from languages, I'm able to pick up. Sometimes I learn the language, and I speak several languages. Even some of the countries that I've been to, let's say in Malaysia, every little bit of Malay here and there, we can pick it. Because I didn't go to school to read that Malay, but in France, because of my, it's a country that I would say I'm a citizen over there, so it's an obligation to speak French. In Arabic, because of the background of our religion, we can understand little things in that, because I can write it, I can read it. So maybe some of the language sometimes it's difficult, but I'm writing, it's all the same, I can do those things. So if you have that, it's much easier for you to blend in with the people. And you know, when you are educated, you have that background of education, it's much easier to mix around and live and integrate much easier. And integration is very, very important wherever you go. Even when I'm in Aba, I always try to speak Igbo. And sometimes I will speak certain sentence and everyone will say, "Hey, Jesus Christ." There is one of this that I came to here and said, "Usman, why do you do this? You have to do the coach." I said, "I think we'll have to mark out the coach." Jesus Christ. He said, "When did you learn this?" So you see, it's easier wherever you are to understand. And sometimes when you speak some of the people's language that you can be, they feel well, they feel relaxed, they feel that you get accepted. But when you try to pull your way away from them, they feel that you are always different. So integration is very, very important wherever you are.
Okay, Coach. Looking at your job now with Wiki Tourist, how have you been able to embrace it?
Yes, there is a lot of things coming back to me. It's not about the money. It's not about money. It's about something else. Probably maybe I'm part of the country, and also it's to come and see Wiki. It's not about looking for job coming to Wiki, because it's a decision made by a lot of people around for me to be in Wiki. Because when I left the India, I wanted to go back. I wanted to go and study again. During this corona thing, maybe I would have been in Europe, going, pursuing, upgrading my certificates, or maybe updating them, because football is always changing. I don't want to sit in my old certificate. I want to learn. The lot of the games changes. The more many things changes around. So, but 2 days after I left, they called from Bauchi and came to Kano directly, and I told them because I have other plans. But a lot of people talk to me and all these things to come. It's about saving the club. Because the club can leave the club like that to go down. It's not far, and I look at it, it's okay. I'm in Kano as I'm talking to you. I just left. So I'm almost like I'm in Kano. Okay. So also I look at it that I've been away for some time, so probably I'm not far away from Kano, so I can do something as maybe also a charity, not for something, also certain things. Maybe they face, I used to coach a big club that maybe Pillars and Elimba. Now it's also a challenge. Let me see, okay, here is a club that is struggling. What can I do? So it's also a challenge. I take it as a challenge to see what is going to happen this year. So I like that kind of challenges. Yes.
Okay, Coach. Now you hold a dual citizenship and is blessed in marriage with beautiful children. How has that impacted on you as a person and your job?
Yeah, family is very, very important. Everything we do is all about family. Whatever we are doing is just to leave a legacy that the family lives comfortably and also leave on certain legacy. So if you don't have a goal, it's just like when we say, like when I come to Wiki, for example, I say, okay, now this year, for us to do well, we have to keep a target, we have to have a goal, and we have to look at what we have, what we don't have to achieve. It's the same thing with this family. They are our goals, the family. So whatever we do is all to see that we reach that kind of goal. Whatever we've been given, the privileges we've been given by our parents, we have to apply it back to, pass it back to the family, and they can pass it on and on. And so you see, I come from a very, very big family, something like extended family. So we are a lot. Probably maybe people are hearing Abdallah or Sharif Abdallah, or if you are in Kano, you understand that. So they are very, very important. Whatever we are doing is all about the family. We don't have decision to do on our own without considering what our family, even the job we take, whatever we do. So they are very, very important, and I'm happy. I'm happy with what I have. My children are doing well in school. Everybody is in good health, and it has a lot of impact in anything I do. Reflects.
They've been able to cope very well with you being away all this while.
Yeah, I think the most difficult part is for the children, because they are new in the family, and the older ones are already used to it. But now, I've been shuttling Kano, and it's only the longest time I've been staying away from my family is when I was in Neighbor. When I was in Neighbor. So I can spend almost 3 months without even coming to Kano. While I've been outside the country, and I've never spent more than 3 months without being in Kano. So you can see the differences. Maybe the traveling the way in Aba, it's a very remote area. You know, sometimes you cannot go to Kano and come back. It could have been easier for me if I was in Lagos. I can just fly to Kano this morning, and by evening time I'm in Lagos again. You cannot do that in Aba. So it was a very, very difficult time that time when it comes to that. It really, really stressed me out. And also I think it's one of also the reason why I think I get fed up with.
Okay.
Among other reasons. So family is always very important. Now I cannot even travel, but luckily now we can video call. I can sit in front of my TV and I'm watching my kids who were talking and they are there. Okay. And during the continent, they find it very, very something new. They sit in there and watch big TV because it's televised, and they say, oh, that's Papa. So after the game, we sit down and talk on the video chat. So it's much easier now than those days. It's very difficult, but the circumstances what to do. But the mother, she understood. She understood that because we've been together for a long time. But for the children, the younger ones find it very difficult. Sometimes it affects them in school. You know, they used to call and say this, most especially one of the twin girls that I have that was very close to me. So later, but they get used to it.
Okay, tell us some of your favorite Hausa and French delicacies.
You know, I said it last time I was talking to. There is this rice ball. We call it tuwo shinkafa. Normally the ones we like some of the gari, all this the way they do. So there is the one we do with rice, call it tuwo shinkafa. And there is one local soup, is near taushe. It's taushe soup, you know, with some leaves and this pumpkin and all these things. And that is a typical Hausa. That's my favorite. Whenever I travel, I'm coming back to Kano. If I stay for a long time, I'm coming back from Europe, I'm arriving in Nigeria. That's what my mom do. For me, the first day, I go straight to her room, to her house, and then eat that before even going to my house. I love that. And also, I like this jollof rice with rice. There is one spice, we call it daddawa. The Yoruba call it dawa. So mixed with it, I love that. So those are my two favorite meals.
Okay. If you didn't play football and now coaching, what will you possibly be doing?
I think because the line that our parents set us, we are not like all of my brothers. Even Hassan, you saw, he has two degrees as he is there sitting down in this thing. He has I think degree or HND in business admin, and he has in procurement and supply. So for most of us, for me I read chemical engineering. Probably I might be in one of the oil companies, just like my other class. So or maybe in petrochemicals or somewhere in that. So but like my brothers, there are some that read like engineering, they are in the thing. There is another one that is an architect, there is irrigation engineer, there are all of us. Oh, there are some bankers that is an accountant in one of the banks, he read also accounting there. So we said, this is the only thing that I think our parents gave us, education, so that we can live our life. So when I graduated one day, I remember I went to Lagos to serve, then I was playing for Stores, and later I went to Cotonou to play for Mogas. So the agent saw me and said, okay, he's taking me to Germany, and they came and told one of my elder sisters, this is Usman, he is playing for the visa. He has really finished school. Whatever you want to do, let him go and do whatever he wants. He can go anywhere he wants to. When it doesn't work, he come back and work. So I thought probably I might be an engineer, maybe working in one of the companies, because that's the channel we did. But I have never worked because I didn't get opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity to work because football gave me everything that I have now.
Finally, Coach, let us into some of your charitable works off the field, off football.
Yeah, you know, when you are a Muslim, what we believe, we don't like talking about the charity we do outside. But some, like in the sports part, I think it's about youth development. In Kano, I always say, probably when I'm coming back, fully back in Kano, I will end up with the youth. Because that's what I think I can give to help and leave legacy. I was talking, I had an interview about 2 days ago. When I'm coming back to Kano permanently, I might come back to Kano to do an administration. that in 3, 4, 5 years time, no, I'm not interested in coaching anymore. I don't see myself coaching. What do I have to prove? Probably maybe if I happen to get the national team, probably, hopefully, like every other person, win the World Cup for Nigeria, then why will I stay there being a coach again? I think when I come back, I think I see myself in the administration part where I can do what I wanted to. Because this youth development, this youth is the grassroots, the foundation of what we are doing is all what is neglected, and that is my interest. And I have the knowledge for it. I read a lot of things about youth development. I have an experience. I've worked with the youth and also. So this is the charity that I want to give, which I'm giving now. And I'm participating in many things in Kano when you are here, attending those kind of charities, maybe seeing clubs, maybe helping certain clubs with all these kids in a certain time. And all I've been doing, I am even planning now as I am having one Abdllah Foundation account so that I keep on and it's all about the sport. When it comes to charity, it's about that I can speak of. The charity I will do to myself, what I've been doing to people or something like that, I don't doubt it is what I did or something. But in the other part, it's all about the youth development, yes. That's where I am spending all of my time, and I won't end up spending.
Okay. All right. Usman Abdllah is the current coach of Wiki Tourist of Bauchi. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Au revoir.
Thank you very much. Thanks.